What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. How is your weekend going? It is Saturday. Premier League football has returned after another boring international break. I mean, boring in the sense that it's an international break, but I mean, a little bit exciting. We didn't get a whole lot of injuries, I think, aside from Dallo, but other than that, pretty good. Have you guys been watching any of the qualifiers? What have you guys been up to? How's your Saturday going? Let me know. I mean, we're back though. It's been a minute, but I'm back today with another scouting report special. I've got another batch of hidden gems and rising stars and future ballers for you guys all to check out. You guys know I do like to stop by now and then and do this. Let me know. Do you guys like this better where we do like one dedicated video and like half a dozen players, or do you prefer when I kind of throw one in to a news roundup every now and then? Let me know. Some of you guys were more, adamant that you wanted this format, so I've been doing this for the last month or so to see how everyone vibes with it. But I'm always here for feedback. This is your guys' channel. I'm just here to throw this stuff out there and let you guys tell me what you think. But we are back today for that. So FC 26 is out in a couple weeks, so maybe the guys we'll talk about, maybe the guys we have spoken about, maybe they will be ballers in the game as well. You guys check out FIFA. Look at that overall and that potential, right? But that's what we're going to do today. First up, though, and you guys can get your thoughts in as we go along. A little bit of trivia. I want to know who scored United's 2000th Premier League goal. Who scored United's 2000th Premier League goal? Let me know with your answers. Don't cheat. Just guess. Don't cheat. All right. But let's get stuck in, you guys. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 3K. Make sure you share it as well. Get more people involved. Get these scouting reports out there. Check those memberships as well. You guys know that's the best way to get involved in the content, including suggestions for scout reports, suggestions for what if episodes. Legends can even jump on with Dylan and I for the kickabout every week. So check that out. And then check out the UVE store as well. You can get something like this sweet Fergie Time mug. I'm using it to drink my Earl Grey tea today. So tons of stuff, tons and tons of stuff in the UVE store. New designs dropping all the time. Now we've got posters, magnets, mugs, hats, and of course shirts and stuff. There's even onesies in there for kiddos for the future red in your life. So check it out. Let's see who's involved in the chat. Big up, Rob. Good to see you again, my friend. Yes, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And let's get stuck in, you guys. You guys want to talk about something? Here, starting with number one. This is Zay Lucas. Plays for Sport Recife. He's a center midfielder, CDM kind of hybrid, but he's just a young kid, 17 years old, but he's already so bright. Physicality, he's got good press resistance, he's good on the ball, right? Good positional awareness, good ball progression skills, and he's already a leader, which we're going to talk about. Remember when Lamine Yamal was the next big thing, right, at the young kid? This kid right here will be talked about with that same exact energy soon. Quickly moved from the academy all the way to becoming the first team midfield linchpin at Sport Recife at just 16 years old. The kid is an absolute baller. Got a good blend of physicality. You could see he's a unit. He's a big guy. He's composed, tactical intelligence. He's got really good ability on the ball. You can see too, you say, okay, he's 5'9", not a big deal. His numbers are excellent. The tackles, interceptions, the blocks, the clearances, very good for a young kid playing with grown men. And then you can see dropping deep and then kind of progressing that ball out from the back with those take-ons, those progressive passes. He's really good at taking the ball and moving it up the pitch. I'd like to see him work on his passes a little bit more. But again, the kid is 17 years old. Again, he's strong, he's powerful, he covers a lot of ground, but he's also very agile on the ball. I think he's very good at stepping up with the ball, again, to move that thing forward, especially under pressure. But I'd like to see that attacking output increase as he gets older because it's really going to up his level to a more well-rounded midfielder. Now, he's comfortable in a pivot or as an 8 in a kind of a box-to-box role as well. But you could see this is where he kind of lives, kind of in that middle third, receiving the ball, getting up the pitch, finding those attackers. Very good young player. I like this kid a lot. He's already a leader as well, like you saw in the traits here. He captained Brazil's under-17 side to victory in the under-17 championship in South America. Made him one of Brazil's brightest young prospects. I really like what I see from him. Let's see what you guys are saying so far. Debasi, welcome. Got an answer for you. 2000 Premier League goal was scored by a guy Who went to Italy? That is true. I am Titanium. Good afternoon, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Um, Dabasi thinks that he needs a bit of muscle. He's going to be carried by Holland. Sure. Yeah, Danny B threw this guy out there the other day. I actually had him on my list, but you kind of reminded me I should probably just go take a closer look at him. So, and we got a new feature for you guys. So, is an effort to kind of introduce a little bit of what other scouts and what the league and what the footballing associations are doing. So there's, I don't know if you guys are paying attention, if you how much you guys know about scouting, but in scouting, there's the FA especially, they put forth these foundations, these four tenets called the four corners. They look at the four corner model when it comes to scouting and recruitment, especially young players. And so I thought I would start introducing a little bit of that to this scouting report as well. So the four corner model is broken down into four corners as it stands, right? And those are the physical side, the psychological side, the tactical side, and the technical side. And so obviously your physical side is going to be, your pace, your power, your aerial ability, things like that. Your technical side is going to be how good are you at, passing, dribbling, and things like that. Tactical, how well can you read the game, decision making, those kind of things. Psychological, those are going to be things like your aggression, your resilience, your leadership, that kind of stuff. That's how they start to kind of break this down. And so I've started to introduce a little bit of that as well. So you can see here. So physical side, again, with young players, keep in mind that this is relative. So this is kind of in their age group. And then with young players too, it can get a little better. But with young players, physical. So he's strong and he's fast, but he is still physically developing. So I don't think we've seen quite what he's going to be quite yet. Technical, he's got really clean passing, really good control. I want to see a little bit more of that attacking and that creativity, though, and kind of when it comes to the final third. Now, that's not his job, but I would like to see those move up. The passing, definitely for sure. The tactical, he does read the game very well. Really good positioning. As you can see, he's actually scored really, really high on the tactical for his age, which I think is a really good prospect. But then the psychological, as you saw, he's so composed on the ball, especially in a delicate area of the pitch. But because he's captained the under-17s, he's led them to victory in the under-17 tournament. I think this guy is leadership material, which is a really good psychological aspect. So I like this kid a lot. I want to see what you guys are thinking about in the chat. How do you guys feel about Zay Lucas? I know Danny likes him, of course. Let me see you guys. Rob says, nah, never heard of this kid. Most people probably haven't. He's still very young, but he's very, very promising. He has a contract that extended to 2028, and he's got a 50 million euro release clause for foreign clubs. Reportedly, he is in a pretty advanced talks with Barcelona. Barcelona are looking at him heavily, according to reports. So we'll see what happens. Danny says only 16, 17. He's not a regular first-team player now. He's getting a lot more minutes now, which I think is going to make the difference. But I always pay attention to these guys who are starting to captain and things when they're young, kind of like if you remember Ruben Neves used captaining Porto when he was a teenager and whatnot. So he hasn't captained Sport Recife yet, but he has shown that he can be a leader at his age group. Debasi's, yeah, similar to Boadi. I think that Boadi's probably a little bit more advanced just in terms of the first team minutes that he's getting and the experience. But this kid, trust me, like I said, that same energy that people were given to Lamine Yamal, this kid's going to be talked about in the next couple of years. Keep that. Especially if Barcelona pick him up, it's another one coming through the academy. So let me know what you think, you guys. We're going to move on to my next player here, and that is Jano Gordon. Now, I told you all about these South American leagues. This guy plays for Vélez Sarsfield, a club that we've covered a couple times here on the channel when it comes to scouting reports. He is a right back, just 21, but he's good physical. He's 6 foot. He is definitely more right back than wing back. He's more full back, right? He's definitely a defense, but he poses a threat in the opposition half, especially on set pieces. He's good at these scoring, getting in the right place at the right time. He's good in the air, very, very physical. His defensive output is very, very good. Now, this is probably because he started out as a center back, which explains the physicality and the aerial presence. He bagged 2 headers in a Supercopa final this week to give Vélez the victory as well. So, again, a knack for popping in the right space at the right time to get on the end of something, kind of like what we've seen from Casemiro in these set pieces. But this physicality, especially in the air, does combine well with his ball progression. You can see he is more defensive, but he does get the ball into the opposition half. Now, remember, the South American leagues are split up into the Clausura and the Apertura, so I put the heat maps for the two different leagues in there so you guys can see both. I try to give you guys all the context I can. You guys know that's how we roll. But he's really good, especially in these 1v1s because he's physical, he's defensive, but because he can read the game so well, it adds a touch of that class to the situation where kind of like what remember we saw from Wan-Bissaka at times. He just read the situation very, very well. I think this guy's just got a little bit more physicality to him, especially in the air. Looking at his numbers, you can see what I mean about physicality. The guy's well above average for fullbacks for every defensive metric that you can get. Aerial duels is top 2%. Interceptions, top 7%. That's insane. You guys know what it means when you can read the game like that, when you have those interceptions. But again, pass completion is good. Passes attempted is good. Not a whole lot of ball progressing, which I would like to see improve as well, especially if he's going to become a little bit more well-rounded. But again, he's young. He's still very young. 12th for interceptions per 90 in the Apertura. He was 13th for tackles per 90 in the Clausura as well. Very, very good. Now, while he's capable of those surging kind of ball progressing runs, I'd like to see his chance creation and his goal involvement improve. Like I said, I just think that would really elevate him to the next level when it comes to being a fullback. But again, he's so composed on the ball, and because he's so physical, he can shield the ball, like especially when he's building out from the back. I'm not going to be that picky. He's a little bit like Mizraoui in that regard. Now, he's also not the quickest, so pacey wingers, similar to Mizraoui, could give him a little bit of trouble. But looking at his four corners, again, you can see the technical side of things. Again, that ball progression is really what I'd like to see improve. But when it comes to the physical, psychological, the guy's got it. Strong, physical, not quick. Comfortable on the ball, but he's lacking that attacking output. Reads the game well, but I want to see improve it at the top level. And then again, he's aggressive, he's intense, he shows up in big moments, but he needs to prove it at a higher level. That's what I'd like to see from this kid. Let's see what you guys got here for me. Debasi said he's right back. All right, let's get him. We don't have right backs. Yeah, I know. We're going to be talking a little bit more about right backs later on in like December too, because I've got another video planned for then. You guys know I like to look at January deals, so I'm Titanium says another Scottish Argentinian. Daddy says he's a beast. Prefer him over the I don't know who that guy is at Palmeiras. Interesting. I'll have to look him up too. But he is a bit of a beast. Ian, welcome to the channel. Good to see a new face. Welcome to the channel. We love to see new faces. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. If you're new, we're just going through a scouting report right now. Got a couple more players to go through, but big up. Debasi says, I have to see his speed. My analysis says United needs a wingback crosses who should have explosive pace. Yeah, this guy's definitely more fullback than wingback, but he's so good in the air. He's physical. And he's so good on the ball. Again, he's so young too. I think it could work. Now, remember, not all the scouting reports are just players that I'm like, yeah, United, go out and get them. These are just good players that I think people should be talking about. When it comes to the January deal video, that's all United. I've already got like 12 players on that list that I'm already looking at. That'll probably get whittled down as contracts are signed and table positions change. But you guys know I always prepare. But big up. Danny says a dollar replacement. Yeah, this is the guy that you get when you just want to shut down our right-hand side and not let anybody in. Basically what we saw with Wan-Bissaka. But I think he's got a little bit more silk to his game than Wan-Bissaka did. So, Rob's, yes. Some of these guys might be ballers in FC 25. I honestly don't know. FC 26 will be out in a couple weeks. So we'll see what the overalls and the potentials look like then. So, and yeah, Danny, that's kind of my point too, because he started as a center back and he is more defensive. I think that you would like to see him in this system. If United were to sign him, you'd see him almost in that right side of center back. We're basically the same as Mizraoui. Good at driving out that ball, very physical. I think he'd be very good at defending those channels. I think that, again, similar to Mizraoui, pacey, tricky wingers might do him harm a little bit, like Doku and whatnot. That could cause him problems. Sulemana did that to Mizraoui way back when as well. But I like this kid a lot. He's really, really good. Debasi wants explosive pace. Pace isn't everything, Debasi. I will say that. You can read the game well. You don't have to be super fast because then your positioning is usually top notch if you can read the game. Like Daley Blinn, Sergio Busquets, these guys weren't quick, but Daley Blinn was very good for us. He was very good for Ajax. Sergio Busquets, not super fast. Michael Carrick, not super fast. But if you can read the game well, your anticipation, your footballing IQ, your vision, it looks like you're faster. It just looks like you're a step ahead of everybody else because you are. And so it is what it is. Tobias says, can he advance into a long passer? Could have some use. Maybe. I don't know. His numbers need to improve. Like I said, he's very defensive, very physical. But I think it just depends on how you use him. Remember, it's more about system, as Danny sort of hinted, moving into the right center back. It's all well and good to look at players and say they're good, but it's all about the system you play, unfortunately, sometimes. So you got to keep that in mind, because it doesn't matter how good of a right winger you are if you're get chalk on your boots, as they say. In this system, is that what we need? That kind of stuff is always got to be considered. So let's move on, you guys. Keep getting your thoughts in. I'm going to move on to my next player. This is another one I had on my list that Danny ended up. Danny always seems, it's like Danny has access to my notes or something. There are many, many times in the last year and a half since we started this channel where I've had players on my list, even players that were in my notes for a specific video, and Danny will like throw them in a comment on a video. But so this is Isaac Price. Plays as a 10 for West Brom right now. He joined them from Standard Liège last January, so he made a mid-season move. But again, just 21. The guy's good for a goal. He's good for chance creation. He's physical. He's got a good work rate, good movement, good positioning. I like what I see from this kid. Plays as the 10, but Ryan Mason gives him a little bit of freedom, and you'll notice from his heat map too, almost uses him a little bit as a box-to-box. Now, he's only got like 4 games, so I just put all 4 games heat maps up here so you guys can kind of see where he's going, rather than, because the one for the season doesn't give you the good picture. This is where he's playing. But you can see getting right involved kind of in that inside right-hand channel more often than not, and then sometimes we'll be playing on that left-hand side as well, but kind of see him kind of in that inside channel just outside the opposition box. But then he's also able to drop into his own half to get involved as well, which is really good skill to have. But again, box to box, kind of in an 8, working in the channels and in the half spaces is what you're going to see from him. Now, West Brom under Ryan Mason do tend to push in a front 4 when they're pressing. Price in that situation will actually slot in right beside the striker to kind of make a 2. But again, he also has a responsibility to adhere to West Brom's system, which is a high pressing system. And to his credit, he actually does it really, really well. He's very alert. He's very lively. He's quick to pounce on a poor touch or a loose pass and punish the opposition. He's really good at doing that. Ideal for high pressing systems, ideal for English football in general. And his movement and his positional awareness is so advanced for such a young player. If you see his defensive contributions for number 10s is in the top 8%. Physical aerial duels, top 23%. He's got good chance creation, gets a lot of touches on the ball. Literally everything is above average. Sometimes they're not always an FB ref. Standard Liège wasn't an FB ref, so I use the foot mob percentiles. So sometimes that's why you see it look like this, and sometimes it looks like foot mob or FB ref. Just depends on the information at hand. So, but again, his movement and his awareness is so good for a young player, again, especially in the box where he can cause a lot of problems, like he did when he scored West Brom's only goal in a recent win over Blackburn. He just, kind of like what we used to see from McTominay, just causing chaos in the box and just being in the right place at the right time to lash something home. Nearly scored 2 directly from a free kick from like 30 yards out against Blackburn as well. That ball had some dip on it, and it nearly got spilled into the net. He's having a breakout start to the season, Price. 3 goals, 2 assists in all competitions already, doing very, very well. 3rd right now for shots on target, 9th for key passes. It was the youngest player to reach 10 goals for Northern Ireland as well, I read. So a little bit of international trivia to you. 4-corner model, like we said, still very young. Now, I want to see his tactical stuff improve just a little bit, but he's not bad. Again, young players, it's relative. Got a good stamina, good work rate, but physically he's still developing. He's got really good control, really good key passes and chance creation, but I want to see that end product just improve a little bit more. Again, tactical, needs a little bit more consistency, a little bit more positional discipline, as you can see from the heat map. A little bit all over the place at times, which it's going to happen in a high pressing system with young players. We saw that at United. These young players, sometimes they don't really understand how to press sometimes, but again, he's young. And then psychologically, probably his best attribute right now. He's very confident, very composed in big games, shows that he knows where to be and what to do, and he has no problem popping up in big moments. And so I like what I see from this kid a lot. Let me take him off the screen and talk to you guys for a hot second. For those of you just joining, we're starting to introduce the FA's four corner model to the scouting, because that's what the FA really looks at when they're looking at scouting and recruiting young players. So let's see. Yeah, I am Titanium, Northern Irishman. I know you, a little Northern Irish love for everybody out there. I am. You guys, my Irish brothers from another mother out here today. Rob says Dylan Lawler, one to watch out for. Yeah, I saw us linked. We've been linked to a lot of players recently. We got fresh links to Adam Wharton, but again, when you guys don't see me talk about that, it's typically because they're coming from someplace like Team Talk or Caught Offside or Fikahes or something that it's just nothing really there. So we'll wait to see what happens with that. Danny says, have to watch more Price. Very versatile. Could play right wing back easily. Yeah, I think he could play a lot. I definitely see him in the 10. I think that he kind of reminds me a little bit of JJ Gabriel, the way he can drop deep. Getting involved in the box, he definitely reminds me of Scott McTominay. And he kind of has a little bit of Hackney about him, where he'll stay in that channel, but he'll kind of make these runs forward, kind of follow the play when it's in wide areas. Really good at kind of making those late runs and getting on the end of something. And so, yeah, his long shots are on point. The boss said he could be a good backup to Mbumo when he leaves for AFCON. It will be hard because he did just join Standard Liège last January, or join West Brom from Standard Liège last January. So he hasn't even been there a year yet. So Ian says, my friend is a baggie, and he rates him very highly, says he's on the ball delivery is top drawer. He can grow into a wide attacker, inside forward very easily. Yeah. Again, yeah, all the things we were saying, really good presser of the ball, really good operating in that channel. Really, really bright for his age. What's his price? Rob, similar to Chris Rigg. I haven't seen much Chris Rigg. He hasn't gotten as many minutes. I don't know if Sunderland just maybe he's dropped off a little bit, if they're worried that he's going to get too much attention. I don't know. I haven't seen him a whole lot. Could be. I mean, didn't watch a whole lot of. I was watching more Job to see how Job was doing. And then again, Chris just kind of stopped playing a little bit as much, unfortunately. I am Titanium says Irish countries have always had good young players. Yeah, we've had one in the past at United, right? I did remember one of the early episodes of What If was on Bestie. If you guys have been around for a long time, and we did talk about that. So. Sticking in the championship, move on to my next player. This is Shea Charles, plays for Southampton. He's a center midfielder, again, another 21-year-old, but he's 6'2". He's an absolute monster physically, but he's also very composed and actually pretty techie on the ball. If you guys kind of like Milinkovic-Savic a little bit, just big guy, but just good on the ball. Or Xerxes, if you want. Good positioning, good reading of the game. Also really good mindset, really good leader. Manchester born, so there's that. He was spent pretty much his whole academy career at Man City, called up the city's first team squad from the under 18s at a young age, then spent some time on loan at Sheffield Wednesday, where he was just stellar. He was Sheffield Wednesday's player of the year in 24-25. And now he's earned a spot in Southampton's starting 11. He is physical, technical, composed, really good positioning, reads the game very, very well. Again, came through City's Academy, which is probably where those technical attributes were developed. I mean, that's pretty much front and forward. They want technical players. And these are some of these heat maps that we're looking at. Now, I put one up for this season, which is the bottom one, and then last season is the top one, so you can see a little bit more context. This season's is not going to be very much because we've only played a couple games, but last season, you can see in that kind of 8 role, that pivot, he was basically just living in that middle inside channel of the pitch. Really, really good. I like what I see from this kid a lot. Physical, good head on his shoulders. He covers every blade of grass, but he does it with technical. You could see he took the corners last season too. So I like that a lot. He was 8th for interceptions last season, just outside the top 10 for tackles per 90. But you could see the ball progression is actually really, really good when it comes to carries and take-ons. So again, when you've got good, successful take-on numbers combined with those progressive carries, that usually means you're press resistant, you've got a good bit of close control, a little bit of techers about you. But again, those defensive numbers, this is what we want. This is basically what you want from a midfielder in an amorim system when they're playing next to the creative playmaking midfielder, someone who is physical but also can progress the ball. This is similar numbers that you're going to see to Baleba, similar numbers you're going to see to some of the other midfielders like Elliot Anderson and whatnot. Physical numbers and then good carries as well. Tackles, top 20%. Interceptions, top 16%. Aerial duels, top 20%. The kid's a freaking monster. Leader as well. Youngest ever captain for Northern Ireland. Another Northern Irish for you guys in some of those matches that he's played. Nominated for EFL Player of the Year as well. If he improves his goals and assists, his GA, and consistently replicated his 1 goal, 5 assists from his Sheffield Wednesday loan, it could take his name to the next level. That's probably the one thing missing. But again, I don't need it from this player in this pivot, in the role that he would play. Looking at his 4 corners, again, that physical is way up there. The tactical is way up there as well. He's strong. He's got stamina. Not yet proven against top opposition, but again, a season in the championship, getting a lot of starting 11 regular minutes in Southampton could be a really good litmus test. Techie, again, good passing, good composure. I do want a little bit more of that final ball consistency, though, from him. Tactically, he's versatile, good positional sense and awareness. I do want to see him play with a little bit higher tempo, though, as well. I think that's going to elevate him as well. Just move a little bit quicker. Psychologically, though, he's got everything. He's mature. He's composed. He's a leader. He's still young, so we'll see how it goes. But the kid is absolute beast mode. Arsenal were supposedly linked to him last winter, if I remember correctly. I've seen us linked as well. Again, links, so we don't know how that looks. It's always links, right? Paper talk, as it will. Let me see what you guys are saying in here. Danny's never heard of this lad. Yeah, I mean, paying attention to the loans and whatnot and where people are. I mean, there's a lot of championship clubs down there. There's a lot of doing things, and a lot of these players are out on loans a lot. So, yeah, well, hopefully we can get that Wilcock connection, because obviously Wilcock spent a lot of time there, and we're pretty good at stealing players from some of these other clubs. I think he could be a really good pickup for us personally. DeBasti says Southampton will charge 100 million again if they get. What did Dibbling end up going for? I can't remember, because he was quoted at like 100 million too, and then he ended up going for like 40, right? I can't remember now off the top of my head. I do love me some tea. Somebody recommend me. You guys have been telling me to try some Irish tea. Got to recommend me a brand or a flavor so I can order it. This is just Earl Grey with a little milk. So yeah, he does have a brother who plays as well. I read that as well. So, but yeah, 2 Northern Irish guys for you in a row. So I'm helping you guys out. All right, Slancha, do it. Days is one to keep an eye on him. Yeah, for sure, man. Rob says Arsenal squad is full. They can jog on. They made short work earlier. For who do they play? Oh, Forest. Yeah, they destroyed Big Ange. So much for that new manager bounce, man. Ian says the only tea is Yorkshire tea. Oh, good shot. You're gonna start a rumble. Is PG? Is that a tea? I don't know what that is. Now you guys are just confusing me. You guys are funny. All right. Debastis is American tea. Get it from other country for cheap and charge more due to tariff. Basically it's housing. My wife drinks this Bengali spice tea. I think it is supposed to help her sleep more. I just usually go for Earl Grey. In the summer, I'll make a bunch of black tea, but people don't like my tea when I make it in the summer in the big jug, because I don't like sweet tea. I grew up on unsweetened tea. You make it in the sun, right? You just let it chill for a couple hours, and then you drink it. Maybe squeeze a little bit of lemon in there, but I don't like sweet stuff. So like sweet tea, just never couldn't get over it. So, but that's Shea Charles. Let's see. Let's move on here to my next player. Nilson Angulo plays for Anderlecht as a left winger. Now he's a little bit older than some of these other guys at 22, but he is a good, like solidly built winger at 6 foot. But he's got flair, pace, dribbling. A little bit versatile. He can play a little bit anywhere across that front line, but he's got an excellent work rate as well. I like what I see from this kid off the ball. He's having a breakout season, 2 goals, 3 assists in all comps already at the time of writing. Now that could have changed in the last 24 hours, but that's already equal what he did last season as well. So he's already playing. Now the difference is he's starting more matches now. Again, as you get older, as teams sell players, and as you prove yourself with work rate and training and taking your opportunities, You get minutes, you get chances, and now more minutes equals more goals. Again, he's already equaled his output from last season a couple games in. Pacey attacker, excellent dribbling. He also contributes off the ball. Like I said, he's in the top 2% for defensive actions per 90 when it comes to wingers. So again, not afraid to put in a shift when his team needs his help. But again, he can play anywhere across the front three. But you can see from his heat map, he basically lives on that left side. That's where he lives. He takes the corners as well, so it's nice to have some versatility when it comes to set piece delivery. But he lives on that left-hand side. Now, I know you guys are going to look at that heat map and you're going to say, great, another Rashford, another Garnacho. I think this guy puts in a little bit more work off the ball than those guys do, unfortunately. So I like that. But again, he can use his skill. He can use that close control, that dribbling to cut inside, take a shot, find a teammate. 6th right now for big chances in the league. 5th right now for dribbles. He was 9th for dribbles per 90 last year. But, I mean, look at how much green is in this kid's percentiles. Literally everything is green. Carries, take-ons, touches, progressive passes, tackles, interceptions, blocks. For wingers, this kid is an absolute gem. You guys know I watch a lot of Belgian football, and this kid is doing bits right now. Top 3% for shot creating action. So anyone who was worried about him just being another Rashford, another Garnacho, cutting inside and shoot, top 3% for creating chances for a team, top 1% for assists per 90 in the last year for top 10 leagues. Again, you can look at the progressive passes and say, oh, it's 50. Well, 50 is average. And again, he carries the ball. He's not the midfielder who's going to find the player. He's the one who's going to carry it and then set it up with a cross. But those take-ons, that's elite level for take-ons and carries, man. Like, that kid is on point. Looking at his four corner again, he's very, very good. He's still very young, pacey and agile, but I do want to see him bulk up a little bit. His dribbling, his flair, his 1v1s are all on point. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I'm still working a little bit on the consistency on the decision making, but he's doing very, very well this season. And I like what I see from him psychologically. He copes with pressure well. He's got a lot of room to improve well. He's still young. So I like this kid a lot. Let me take this off the screen so I can talk to y'all here. So he was named the most promising player of the year in the Ecuadorian league before joining Anderlecht a couple of years ago. So he was very highly rated. Liverpool recently scouted him. Celtic and Sporting were also interested. Elche had a bid rejected, and Angulo actually stated recently he wanted to stay in Belgium and develop. That's what I mean when I say he's got a good head on his shoulders. His contract is up in 2027, though, so we'll see what happens. He could just run that down. So it says Americans do. I don't know, T. If I drink tea, it's usually just in the afternoon. I'm usually 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and then maybe later on in the day it's tea, but I just do Earl Grey. You know what really got me hooked on tea, like hot tea, is Earl Grey lattes. They call them, I guess they call a London fog. Somebody recommended at Starbucks one day. And I got one, and it was very good. I really enjoyed it. So, I mean, granted, lattes are basically just milk, but I enjoyed it a lot. So, Danny's got some recommend Lions or Thompsons. Interesting. No Irish ancestry. Don't sign them. I've got Irish ancestry, so you can take my recommendation. So we can do that. Oh boy. Let me get caught up here. Stephanie, welcome back. Yes, big up. And we are talking tea amidst our scouting reports. We're scouting some teas, apparently. But welcome back, Stephanie. You guys, make sure you like and make sure you subscribe. And good to see you guys again. Good to see the new faces in here as well. Tobias says you could give Dorgu competition. Yeah, very similar playing style to Dorgu, if that's a good comparison. I would say maybe Rashford with a bit more off the ball work rate and a little less selfishness when it comes to that. So let's see. I'm just getting caught up on the chats with you guys. Seems like we're good. You guys are talking cheese still. So we got one more player to go. We are 5 down already, but no worries. We got a little bit of a Bruno regen here coming up. So let's dive into this kid. Leo Walta. He plays for Sirius, who are in the Swedish league. I don't think we've scouted a Swedish league player quite yet. Plays as a 10, can play as an 8, 22 years old, 5'10". This guy is really good at getting that ball up the pitch and creating chances for his team. He's got goals in him. He's good close control, good press resistance as well. Again, He's very much like a David Silva or like a Bruno. He is a creative 10. He just wants to get that ball, turn, and find some teammates and create chances. Uses that close control to shield the ball, maintain possession under pressure, or in tight areas, beat somebody 1v1s. But again, he lives to get that ball up the pitch. But he's also got a good shot in him. See his long range goal against Degerfors not that long ago. It was a screamer. But he is your typical attacking midfielder through and through. You can see, again, Bruno regen. I said that for a reason. The guy is all over the place. Takes the corners. He probably would take the goal kicks too if they allowed him. But again, in that final kind of third area, whether he's playing as a 10 or playing as one of the eights, he kind of lives to get that ball in that middle third and just kind of turn and find teammates and do something with it, which is basically what you see from Bruno as well. He's got 9 goals, 1 assist in all competitions already this season, which is almost better than his 8 goals, 3 assists last season. So he's definitely improving for sure. But the guy is an excellent creative 10. I really like what I see. You can see he's in the top 7% for chance creation already, goals, top 3%, shots, touches. The guy gets on the ball and he makes something happen. I'd like to see him bulk up a little bit physically because he's going to have to if he has any dreams of playing in a more physical league. But he's a very good young player. I like what I see from this kid a lot. So again, the physical, not scoring too high in the physical side of the four corner. He's got the agility, he's got the press resistance, but again, what's going to happen when he comes up against physical opposition or leagues where they don't blow the whistle every time you go to ground? He's going to get in trouble there. Technical, again, excellent ball control, good dribbling, good passing, good long range shooting. I like everything I see about him. Tactically, again, good vision. Those assist numbers are excellent. Good spatial awareness, good link-up play, good at making late runs. But again, he's still young, got some room to improve there. Psychologically, he is confident and capable. He backs himself. We'll see what happens, though, when he gets to a tougher league. And so I like what I see from Leo Volta a lot. If you're looking for someone who's that Odegaard, that Bruno, that David Silva, that person who's going to get the ball in that kind of middle final third area and do something with it, this is the guy you're looking for. Contracted to 2028, looked at by several clubs in the Eredivisie as well, but he's staying put for a hot second. But I like Leo Volta a lot. You guys know I like those kind of players. Let me get caught up down here. What are you guys saying here? Danny says, I know him pretty decent. All right. I'm glad that I like it when you guys know them, but I also like it's a little bit fun when you guys don't know them. Like Danny says, never heard. So that's 2 so far from Danny that he's never heard of. I take that as a point of pride. Rob says, doing well, Sean. All but 1 on EFC 25. Yeah, EFC 25. They don't have some of the leagues in there, unfortunately. So they tried with some of the Brazilian league, but the players aren't real players, so they're kind of fake. So. Let's see what y'all are saying here. Oh, you guys are talking about boxing. I know you guys love the boxing. Yeah, you got to check it out, man. It's good players. Rob says, don't get too many decent Finnish players. Yeah, they're out there. I try to look at different leagues as much as I can. I know it's easy to look at like Belgium and like the Netherlands and even like Brazil and even like the championship, but it's nice to branch out. We've talked about players on the channel from the Ukrainian league, the Russian league, Danish leagues. We've looked at players in Mexico as well. We talked about a player the other day who plays in the MLS too. We talked about a couple MLS players. There are some good players all throughout the world. I've been trying to look more in like Japan and South Korea as well. So keep a lookout for some of that. Players everywhere. Especially midfielders right now. There's so many midfielders, dude. It's insane. Yeah, like the best it says. There's talents everywhere. And I try to find them early if I can by like again using the FA's 4 corner model, looking around all the different sites I look at and everything like Opta. You can't use Y Scout anymore. Y Scout's not available to the general public anymore. I used to use that more. Now you have to basically clubs pay for access to Y Scout now. So unless you're working for a club, you're not really going to get access to it anymore. Unfortunately, they changed their model. So, but it's good to look around. And then, like Danny says, watch if you're looking for young players. Look at the under 17, the under 21, the under 20, like European competitions, the Champions League competitions. You're really good standouts. We've talked about a couple young players in the past that basically broke out in this summer's youth tournaments as well. And so always good to look at those. Keep an eye on players in like Mali and Senegal and stuff, because Vavel's probably got those on his Rolodex. Do you guys know what a Rolodex is? Do I have to explain that to you? If you want to go to the museum, if you want to know what a Rolodex is, and you'll figure out what it is. Big up, Rich. Good to see you, man. So we're just wrapping up with the scouting report. We just did 6 players here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think heaven is probably good enough to go. I don't selfishly, I don't want anybody to go. I want everybody just to hang out. Yeah, and like Vasi says, this is what I want us to start doing a little bit more is, instead of waiting for Baleba to go to Brighton, we sign Baleba before he goes to Brighton. Instead of paying 100 some odd for Caicedo, we listen to Ralph Ragnick and get him when he's like 5 million. And then if we want to, we can sell him. We've got to do better at that. I like the look of what Vavel and Wilcox have done with guys like Heaven and some of these young players that we've poached. But we need to do a little bit more of that. We don't always just need to buy for the here and now. I don't have a problem with buying for the here and now, like with Mbomo and Cunha. Don't have a problem with that. Don't have a problem buying young first-team players like Shesko or Dorgu. But I also love when we get these young players, these 16, 17, 18-year-olds like Sekou Kone or whatever, and we get them in and we kind of just hoard them. I want us to start doing that, stockpile some of this stuff as well. So those are my 6 players. Couple little odds and ends. Don't know if you guys have noticed, but Carlos Baleba, while we've been talking about Baleba a little bit, not getting many minutes at Brighton so far this season. He came on as a sub today, got about a half hour. He's definitely not getting as many minutes. Might be time to swoop. I don't know if that's a sign that he's injured or not rated, or if all that drama over the summer with us making a move, and maybe he's kicked up a little bit of a fuss and he's not happy that he didn't get his move. I don't know, but he's not getting his minutes. It might be time to go swoop on that one. Graham Potter could be a goner soon. West Ham lost again today to Spurs. I think they got a player sent off as well. Not looking good for Graham Potter. I'm telling you right now, Mourinho will be in before Christmas, and he'll probably be out again before the season is up. Just letting you know. And then look at that. We're doing pretty well with these Super Brew predictions you guys helped me with. You guys remember I asked you to help me with my predictions, and you guys are doing pretty well so far. You've got 3 exact scores right already on the weekend. You guys correctly helped me predict Newcastle Wolves. Fulham Leeds, you guys got exactly on the money. And then Bournemouth Brighton, you guys got exact. Now, you got the Forest Arsenal result. You guys were very close. Just 1 score off. And then today, you guys were very close again with West Ham and Spurs. You guys said 3-1. I think it ended up, is it still going on? Yeah, it ended up 3-0. So just missed out. But 3 exact so far is pretty good for the first round of that. I might have to ask you guys for how. I should have asked you guys to help me with that a long time ago. You guys did very, very well. Is exactly, Sean. I'm glad I got something right. This is why I constantly go on. We should sign Lucien Agume instead of paying £100 million for a footballer. Got one for a quarter of the price. Will be the same, if not better. Yeah, you guys know if you've been following the channel for a while, I will always opt, especially at certain points in your rebuild, I will always opt for like 3 players for the price of 1, 9 times out of 10. When you get to a certain point in your rebuild and you're missing like that one class, kind of like what Liverpool were doing with Isak, although they'd spent basically a billy this summer, then you can kind of afford to kind of just that Cantona-esque, that Isak-esque signing that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But if you can get, we've looked at this many times, you can get someone like Elliot Anderson, Lucien Agume. We've talked about Mamadou Sangare. Tons of players out there, especially in midfield that wouldn't cut. Hackney, he who shall not be named, who is currently at AC Milan from Club Brugge. We don't say his name on the channel anymore because I'm still heartbroken that we weren't in for him. But it is. Let's see. You guys talking about fantasy. You guys know I can't do fantasy Premier League. The cognitive dissonance is too strong with this one. Can't do it. I tried to do fantasy NFL once and it broke me. It nearly broke me, unfortunately. Yeah, right, Jules. Still spending that Coutinho money. Florian Wirtz might be a big waste of money. I'm not saying Florian Wirtz is bad, but Florian Wirtz definitely was not worth. Liverpool definitely more than double overpaid for Wirtz and Ekitike for sure. Like for sure. Yeah, there's no need to spend that kind of money, but hey, what are you gonna do? It's weird that they've got Shopaslai playing so deep too, because that guy is much better higher up the pitch. But what you gonna do? Yeah, French league, man, they always churn out talent, man. We've scouted players at Lens, players at Lille, players at Nice. We've scouted a lot of players from the French league. You guys know I'm a big fan of Zaire Emery. I think that if he doesn't get more minutes, because PSG love to buy midfielders, Zaire Emery would be an excellent pickup for us. Don't think that's going to happen, but that's where my mind goes. So, Debas says Verts might take time to settle. That's a lot of money for taking time to settle, man. His There's three times what we paid for Bruno, and does he look better than Bruno? No. I saw someone on Boovie on talking on Sky putting Cole Palmer ahead of Bruno. I'm like, are you kidding me right now, dude? God bless Adam McCullough. That dude doesn't take shit from anybody, man. It's the Lord's work you're doing out here, Mac. But I don't know what people were thinking putting Cole Palmer ahead of Bruno. The numbers speak for themselves. Bruno's best season. Cole Palmer's not gotten near that yet. So it's just done, dude. It's just done. These players, man. These people, these fans out here, man. You get them on Sky. It's what isn't it like you go on Sky and it's like your brain just fries instantly when you're. I don't get it. So, but those were 6 players for you guys. Big scouting report special. I've added the FA's 4-corner model as well to the scouting report. So let me know what you thought of that. That is what the FA encourages when you're looking at young players and recruitment and stuff. It is a good foundation. It's not the be all end all, but it's the foundation of what they're looking at. So thought I'd start introducing that so we can start thinking like the FA a little bit. But in any case, like the video, subscribe to the channel for me if you guys are new. Please check out the UVE store. Tons of stuff in there, like this Fergie Time mug that I've been drinking from this whole time. I do love some tea. And then please share the video as well. Check those memberships to learn how you can get involved in the channel, including suggestions for scouting reports. The starting 11 members and the Legends members do that. Legends members can also join in on the Kickabout show every week. But take it easy, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. There is another Premier League match kicking off in about 10 minutes. I think that's Chelsea, Brentford. I'd love to see Chelsea drop some points personally, but I doubt that's going to happen. Plus, we've got the Derby tomorrow. We need 3 points tomorrow. Go watch the match preview from the other day if you want to know my thoughts on that. I do think we can beat City. That video shows you why I think that way. So thank you guys for stopping by today. Get involved. Let me know what you thought of the players. Anybody you've heard of, anybody that you're going to start watching, anybody, if you're like Rob, you're going to go sign an FC26 when it comes out in a couple weeks, let me know. I'll do a little review of that game too when it comes out, because you guys know my dumbass pre-ordered it because I'm just like glutton for punishment apparently. But take it easy, guys. Enjoy your day. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I will talk to you later. Peace.